Oh, you can join me.
This is like in front of the owl. I can't sit in front of the owl. I cannot sit in front of the owl. It's always right there. Oh my god.
You are old.
You wouldn't make it.
Yeah, let's go. I did. I went skiing and snowboarding. Fuck off. I was fuck you. You guys are actually hilarious.
I was like, I know you. So we're good to go?
Yep, no one online.
I love Geo. I love Geo as well. Geo's the only one that cares.
We got a fan club over here. Oh, we need to like.
It is my honor to call to order the 17th session of the 55th Senate. With that, for all of those willing and able, if you could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. With that, we'll now be moving into our land acknowledgement.
Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples.
This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other Native nations.
We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it.
As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed.
CSU is a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion.
And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon.
This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment.
Thank you. That will now be moving into our swearing in of new senators and associates. If you are new, if you want to come and join us at the front. Welcome back, everyone. With that, welcome. I state your name.
I, Celia Robertson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
the
duties of my office
office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congrats. Congrats. With that, we'll now be moving into getting a roll call. Speaker Reese. Here. Speaker Pro Tempore Lutz.
Present.
Parliamentarian Falbo.
Present.
Senator Jones. Senator Eddington.
Present.
Associate Senator Price. Associate Senator Esquivel. Senator Bouchard. Present. Officer Diggs.
Present.
Senator Chalk. Chair Mananti.
Present.
Senator Roberts. Senator Rivera.
Present.
Associate Senator Wilkin. Associate Senator Cure. Senator Pata Perez.
Present.
Senator Dusterberg.
Present.
Senator Jameson.
Present.
Senator Ornelas. Senator McCorkle.
Present.
Senator Garnand.
Present.
Chair Quesada Stoner.
Present.
Senator Vega.
Present.
Senator Candelera. Senator Leggett. Chair Rivera. Senator Flores.
Present.
Associate Senator Monk Gonzalez.
Present.
Chair McLaughlin.
Present.
Senator Hansen. Senator Bochanan. Senator Grant. Senator Corey. Senator Bone.
Present.
Senator Mendoza. Associate Senator Pratt.
Present.
Senator Hernandez.
Present.
Senator Simpson.
Present.
Officer Jowden.
Present.
Senator Frisky. Senator Fayan. Chair Gray.
Present.
Senator Leary.
Present.
Senator Jama.
Present.
Senator Jeffries. Senator Pickerel.
Here.
Chair Hill.
Present.
Associate Senator Markle. And then Associate Senator Robertson.
Present.
Chair Gilroy. Senator Trinado. Senator Singleton.
Present.
Senator Trinado, are you here? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, cool. Our new clerk, Charlotte, will be joining us next Wednesday, but I am here tonight, so hi. Cool, and if you're new, just make sure to fill out your information on that cool sheet in front of Sydney at the front, so you can get, oh, you already,
I'm switching positions.
cool, sick, but yeah. Cool, with that, we'll now be moving into consent agenda. Do I hear any dissent to this agenda? Sophie.
I motion to add based off ratification to, can I add it like below gallery input?
You can make that motion, yeah.
Okay, I motion to add based off ratification below gallery input.
Is there any dissent to this motion? Hearing none, it'll be reflected. Is there any other dissent to this agenda?
I'd like to motion to add an unnumbered bill. I believe it's in the Teams chat from a long time ago. Yeah, reallocating contractual savings to new business. And I would like to make a strong case for this, that it includes elections funding. So it'd be best for us to debate it and potentially pass it as soon as possible. Sorry it was not submitted on time.
Coolio. And just for additional context, for anyone who might not know, because it wasn't sent out in the original newsletter with the 48-hour thing in our constitution, that legislation would have to be read in full. But with that information, is there any dissent to that motion? Congrats, Jared. What? Yeah, true. Where did you want it added? New business. Clear. Is there any other dissent to this agenda? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move into gallery input. Does anyone from the gallery at this time wish to speak? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and roll into our BSOF ratification. So if you want to come up.
Hey, hi guys. Happy New Year. I'm excited to be back for another semester. These are the new members joining BSOF. As you guys know, we added 2 additional seats to BSOF, and we had 2 people decide to step down for this semester. So one of them was already ratified at the end of last semester, and so that is why there's 3 people being ratified for BSOF. But I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves and then take your questions.
My name is Fenner Kent. I'm a freshman in construction management.
My name is Nick, and I'm a freshman in mechanical engineering.
I'm Emily. I'm a 5th-year senior in behavioral cognitive neuroscience.
Cool. With that, before we move into questioning, Senator Pickrell.
I'd like to make a motion. Can we put these folks on a slate, please?
Is there any dissent to that motion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move into a period of Q&A by first raised placard. Does anyone have any questions for these candidates? Seeing none, if you all could take a step outside. We'll now be moving into a period of discussion and debate by first raised placard. Chairman Onti.
I trust the process. Ratification seems legit. I motion the previous question unless there's anyone on the list. Anyone on the list? And a motion in the previous question then.
Is there any dissent? Hearing none, we're going to go ahead and move into a period of voting. We'll vote via unanimous consent. Does anyone dissent to the ratification of these candidates? Hearing none. I state your name.
I, Nick Nye,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congrats. Awesome. With that, we'll now be moving into our guest presentation from the lovely elections manager. Can you click on that one? Hi, party people. It's almost election season. And so I'm here to just kind of give some updates, a little information on the process this year, and then some notes as we head into the election starting on Friday.
So first up, I'm just going to kind of introduce you to the team and the cast of characters this year, why you should care, the positions that we have open, why this year matters. This is a really crucial year in a lot of ways. And then your role in this as members of ASCSU, some big changes this year, and then some key reminders as we go into the cycle. So this is our elections team for the year. My name is Emily, I'm serving as the elections manager. So under my scope is kind of everything inward facing. So candidates, candidacy, the committee, things like that. If we get into violations hearings, that's under me. And then the running of the voting itself all kind of falls under my role. So my role is a little bit more confidential. And then we have Selena, who's our elections engagement officer. So she's kind of a more outward facing role. So she's doing all of the public outreach, social media events, things like that. So if you have a question and you're kind of trying to figure out who to come to, this can kind of help you decide, but you're also welcome to reach out to either of us. We also have our lovely 12-person voting committee, as well as our one non-voting committee member. It's Gio. So during the election, they're serving as liaisons to an individual campaign, sitting on violations hearings, and then we're also going to be pushing outreach and engagement with these folks. So they're critical as well. We have a pretty healthy mix of internal and external folks, so some of these names may look familiar, but we have a lot of new folks as well. And then we also have some other people supporting our elections crew. Melanie's our Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. She is my direct supervisor and is kind of here to answer all of the nitty-gritty questions about the code, constitution, things like that. The lovely Pam Norris is my advisor on my side of things, so the voting side of things. And then Julia's kind of spearheading engagement and outreach on her side. So, what's on the ballot? We have 4 elected roles. President and vice president run as a shared ticket. So they're lumped together. Whoever runs as president, if they get elected, their vice president is automatically elected. Speaker of the Senate is the lovely Brooks position, and then college senators. So SCPS offices, things like that, are not under us. Those are appointed separately, but the college senators all run through us, and we have a certain number of seats based off the number of students. It's a whole RAMWeb calculation that comes in a little bit later. This is also really important. We are trying to ratify the Constitution this year. So we need a majority approval by 10% of ACSU members. I would hope we all know what an ACSU member is, but just in case, I'll redefine it. It's any student taking 1 credit or more at CSU, so as we're looking at turnout trends, that's the number that we're trying to take the demographic from. So we really need to hit that 10% this year because this is our second year trying to ratify the Constitution, and so all of this turnout effort is kind of going towards that number. And then, because why wouldn't it, the Forever Green t-shirt is also on the ballot. So that's the shirt given to freshmen. This is through our Department of Traditions, so Grace is kind of spearheading that. But that's the shirt that we're giving to freshmen. That submission form is currently open, so if you're big into art or if you really feel passionately about what shirt freshmen should wear next year, submit a design to that, and that can be on the ballot. Why do elections matter? There's so many reasons. First up, student representation, right? We are here as student representatives, so our role is to represent student voices, and this is kind of that link between the voices and our position. This also is kind of our way as an organization to demonstrate engagement to the community. So we get to sit on all these boards as student representatives, and this is kind of the number that we can use to back up that representation. And so this is a really key facet of that. Again, the Constitution getting ratified is a really clear demonstration of student support of the work that you guys have been doing over the year. And then also, this is a really small-scale way for students to engage in their community and in democracy as we're trying to build that up at CSU. Okay, I'm going to present a graph to you of why we care so much. This is our current trend of voter turnout. So this is every year since 2008, and the voter turnout that we have seen since then. As you can see, anything from 2008 to 2013, anything under 20% turnout was kind of a fluke. COVID was not super kind to us as an organization, but we're really trying to get this trend back in order. The turnout is trending down over time, as you can see, and we're at a pretty low point for a variety of reasons. So, on a more positive note, our goals for the cycle, we really want to see students engaged from start to finish, and that looks a lot of different ways, but we're really pushing that through events, social media, and some new engagement efforts that we're running this year. So we have a lot of events that are coming soon through both myself and Selena to really get students out and educated about why they should care. We also know that unopposed races are really hard to get people to care about, right? Like we learned that last year, and so we really want to see a broad candidate base supporting healthy competition. And so encouraging people to run, encouraging people to participate will help us get those turnout numbers that we're looking for. And then outreach. We have a bunch of bubbles that we sometimes can miss as an organization, and we really want to hit those groups so that people feel like they have a place and a reason to care this year. And so through outreach, we're trying to reach some new students. So, your role, maybe not. Did you click on something? Thank you. Engage your constituents. We can do a whole lot of outreach, but if you guys can reach those people in your colleges, that helps us a lot. So both with running for office and coming to events and voting, engaging your constituents in that is really valuable. If you're struggling with how to reach those constituents, come chat with us. We've been pushing a lot of engagement, and so if you're not sure kind of how to run that, we'd be happy to help you, and we have some resources we can share.
I'm not clicking.
We have a lot of events coming up, so we have our candidate debate and a roundtable, and then Lily and I are currently working on a really fun rodeo event that's coming soon. Spoiler, we're trying to get a mechanical bull in the plaza to get people to vote. So bring your friends to that. The more we can make this into a social event and get people in the room, the more likely we are to get people to actually vote when it comes down to it. And then volunteering to table. So we have a lot of tabling opportunities coming up. I'll be sending out some signups, as will Selena, but please join us to vote. We obviously don't want this to turn into a blame game at the end of the day, right? We're all in this together. But I would love when there's a huge voter turnout number that comes up on the screen in March, that everyone had a part in that and we all can kind of rest easy knowing that we contributed. Okay, click. So some big changes this year. With that code edit, senator orientation is now required. We're offering a lot of opportunities to do that. So we have 4 group orientations that are already scheduled and on the elections page of the website. And then we also will have one-on-ones available that are like 10 to 15 times throughout the day that you can pick. So we're really trying to make that accessible to you all. We also are really trying to work with college councils on this. So getting that information to candidates about the college councils, that's a breakdown that has kind of happened in the past, and that's a feedback that I've gotten a lot, is that college councils didn't really feel that connection to their candidates, and so we're really trying to get that information to candidates in orientation, and then once those candidate lists come out, getting that information back to the college councils so that they can reach out. Sorry guys. We also have passed a really large overhaul of the elections code, so if you read that last year, please read it again. It looks very different. A lot of clerical edits, but also some functional edits. And then you all had the timeline change come through here, but that sets us literally starting on Friday. So candidate applications open at 8 a.m. on Friday. I'll be back with that during report. But we're jumping straight into it. Oh my god. Cool. I'll just keep talking.
Are you pressing something?
I'm not pressing anything. Cool. We're changing the social media policies because a lot of updates have happened to Instagram. So we've updated the code to match that as well. Cool. Okay. So those are now covered. So as you're looking towards campaigning, please review that. Okay, it's all there. No, I got it. We're also requiring a team roster to be submitted with your first D&E to make hearings a little bit clearer and add some more information into hearings and add some more transparency. Those will be internal to the committee, but any documents can be requested at any time throughout the process. And then orientation as a whole has just kind of been overhauled. Some new materials are being provided, so we have about 10 documents in each candidate folder, that a lot of those did not previously exist, and setting those candidates up for success throughout the whole cycle through that early education. And then I'm a huge accessibility proponent, so we have a new accessibility guide coming out this year that's currently in review with a few people that will be in there. Okay, some reminders as we go into this. Please act with respect and honesty and fairness throughout this whole process. I know emotions run high, but we are all in this because we care about this organization, so please remember to act with your best self. Conduct yourself and act in a way that you'll be proud of. Come March 11th, when this whole thing is over, we all will go back to our real lives, so please act in a way that you will be proud of. The ASCSU office is off limits for the entire election. For anything relating to a specific campaign, you can talk about voting specifically, but you cannot talk about any specific campaign. If any members of Judicial or Elections Committee hear about it, they are required to submit a violation for that, and we would not like to do that. And then campaigning begins at 8 a.m. on February 23rd, so there is no campaigning of any kind before that time. Please don't do it. I know it's easy to start mumbling about it, but it always gets back to us, and I just would rather not. So, if you have a concern or question, here's kind of how to handle that. So, if you have questions on the process itself, if the whole elections process is kind of blurry to you, if you're not really sure where to go on something, stop by the Judicial or Elections office hours or email me and reach out, and I'd be happy to talk through it. I know the code is a lengthy document, but I would appreciate as we continue to learn about it together. And then if you're concerned about if someone's adhering to the code in their process, there is a violations form already on the elections tab of the website, and you are welcome to reach out to me if you're not sure about if something is a violation. I would like to remind us all that this is not a violations game, and if you are curious what happens when it turns into a violations game, you can look at the Ohio State University election this past year. It's not pretty. So, while this is not a violation game, there are very few people on campus that are going to have read the elections code, with you all being some of those people. And so if you see something, I would ask that you help us hold candidates accountable to make sure that this is a fair and transparent election. Any questions? Cool. Are we all gonna vote? Yeah. Okay, great. The candidate application is already scheduled sent for 8 a.m. on Friday, but if you have questions in the meantime, come reach out to me. Thank you, guys.
Coolio. Thank you, Emily. With that, we'll now be moving into executive report, so if our friends from exec want to come. See you soon, Lauren. If the rest of our friends from exec want to come to the front.
You're welcome.
Okay, hi guys, happy new year. You know, it's back to the spring semester. I'll be doing Andrew's report on his behalf as he has other obligations right now. First thing is the first flow down for the semester will be sent out February 2nd, and it will be a organizational wide collab with Ellie and Caitlin. So members of Senate and the court will be, you know, presented. Your office hours, to please send them to him as soon as possible so he could, you know, have that in his report. Monthly, ooh, wait, am I reading the right thing? Okay, sorry guys, okay. Exec office reports will be up to date by next week. He also said if you guys have anything, any legislation that you guys want sponsored or endorsed, just let him know. His office is literally outside. And if there's any other projects or collaborations that you guys want to have with him, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Happy New Year, guys.
Guys, It is so fun to be back. So I hope that everyone's holidays were awesome. I am elated to be in community with you this year, and I think that we have a special session coming up. And I see a lot of great work ahead. I know that great things are underway in the executive branch. I know that great things are underway in judicial currently, as we just heard. And I know great things are underway in this room too. So thank you all for the work that you're putting in. I'd like to share a few things. Of course, there's a lot happening this semester. Right off the gate, we're launching a search for the Director of Environmental Affairs. Those of you who don't know, Kate Collins has recently graduated at semester, and so that posting will be up shortly here, but we are super excited and sad to see Kate go, even though she's going off to do great things, so it's bittersweet. Nonetheless, we also have Wellness Wonderland coming up, and so I'm super excited for that. Those of you who don't know, this is one of my favorite ASCSU events. Oh, Lauren, you were probably going to talk about this. I'm so sorry I didn't see you. I just shouted out Wellness Wonderland. Please, tell us more when you come up. All right. The last thing I was going to say is that in my role, for those who do not know, I have the distinct privilege of when we have students who pass on campus, I'm charged with writing their families like a letter, and it's a huge responsibility, one that I don't take lightly. But we had a student pass last semester by the name of Soprano Turner, and her family started a foundation to actually kind of bridge this gap of what happens and support for some of her passion areas, which were, so sorry, I have it noted here, mental health, domestic violence, and then BIPOC/LGBTQA rights. And so I'll send more information out about this soon, of like how you can donate or maybe send this out to campus partners or groups that you're a part of if they are interested. I was really elated to hear from the family about this, and so I'll be sharing more information about that. The last two things are, for those of you who did not see it, if you were not on this huge email I sent out with the calendar invite, we're hosting a free speech forum in collaboration with the Office of General Counsel and then Student Legal Services. So Penny Gonzalez will be here, and then Janine Moore on the 30th, I believe. So if you did not get that calendar invite or the email, please let me know, and then I can forward that to you. This is a closed session to ASCSU. However, if you are a part of any student organizations or know of any student leaders who might find benefit or like value from attending that, please let me know, and then they can be added as well. The last thing I'd say is that, of course, Board of Governors is coming up, and that we are looking into integration of an app titled Roomy for CSU. And this would be a trifold integration that encompasses 3 features. The biggest feature being there's like a calendar for like push notifications, but it could synchronize the all-campus calendar. There'd be a forum connected to student emails, and my favorite feature, there'd be like a Facebook Marketplace, but for CSU, to kind of eliminate some of that risk that you receive when you are on Facebook Marketplace chatting with randoms about a vintage mirror somewhere, right? And so that's really cool, but that's what I've been working on and some things that are happening across the executive. I'm gonna invite Lauren up because I shouted out Wellness Wonderland and she has so much more to say, so thank you all.
I had a question.
Yes, I have an answer.
Sorry, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Are we allowed to ask questions?
Ask a question.
Why is the free speech meeting a closed meeting?
Yeah.
Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah,
You don't have
so-
to, like.
I do. So OGC actually requested that it's a closed session just so they're giving the most pertinent and updated, accurate information that this group would need to know. I believe they're doing closed session forums with each of like the shared governance councils. And so faculty council had a similar session, but I believe that was also closed and open to faculty council with the same caveat that if somebody found it beneficial that they can join that one as well. So we kind of copy and pasted that. All right. Any other thoughts, questions? All right. Thank you all. Lauren.
Hi, everybody. I don't know what Jakai said, but I'm just probably gonna repeat it. Sean is passing out a few of these little like handout guys. If you could hold on to this, take a picture, send it to your friends, send it to your coworkers, send it to your roommates, send it to whoever. But on February 6th from 10 to 1:30, it's gonna be Wellness Wonderland. This was an event put on last year. It started last year by someone who is an Active Minds intern. So she's like super passionate about mental health and like kind of just general wellness and like well-being, and wants to work with basic needs to put that on and make it a bigger thing. So it's centered around basic needs, health, wellness, all of that. And it's just resources, so it's kind of like a resource fair, but it's gonna be more interactive. There's gonna be games and swag and stuff like that. It's in LSC ballrooms A and B. I know it says A, B, and C on here. It's A and B. But if you walk into C, that's fine. You just go next door. And so if you want to enter a raffle to win like a little CSU RAM guide, those will also be there, which is fun. And we will also, I'm requesting, it's like 10 minutes of your time, so if you all could come, bring a friend, bring 2 friends if you have them, bring 0, come by yourself, it's cool, I'll be your friend. As long as you come, I'm just trying to get as many bodies through the door and get the resources out there and get people to engage with this event. Preferably also if you have any time from 11 to 11:30 on that day, we will have someone who's a guest speaker. She works with student case management in their basic needs specific department, but also works with Vindicate, which is a local pay what you can market. And she's gonna come and tell students how to get engaged with their community basic needs, and like get engaged as a student. So if you're interested in that, or if you just want to hear someone speak, I'm just trying to get bodies in the room at that point. So that would be really awesome. That's at 11, but anytime throughout the day, it's like 10 minutes of your time. Excuse me. But that's pretty much it in terms of Wellness Wonderland. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to pass this around. This is also on the Instagram, so just look at that if you forget the date, and I'll send out a Teams message the day before to remind you all. The only other thing is that we have a tentative date for the Basic Needs Summit, which a lot more information to come later, but that's going to be April 20th, which is a Monday. So just put that on your calendar for now, and it'll be in Denver from 9 to 4. Thank you. Any questions?
I'll be sure to forward that to my roommate, but with that, is there anyone else from Exec that wishes to give a report at this time? Seeing none, does anyone from Judicial? Awesome.
Hi everyone, I hope you guys all had a great break. If you guys don't know me, my name is Melanie. I am the Supreme Court Chief Justice for this year, and so my office is in the back left closest to Slice. And so if you guys ever wanted to come chat or talk to any of the associate justices in there, you guys are more than welcome. Part of my report is that our office hours are updated and on the AACC website, so that is free for you guys to come. But also you guys just email, we'll find time whenever works in your schedule. It doesn't have to be in our office hours. And you also do not need to come in person. We have a Teams link that's on the website also. If you guys wanted to just pop by that, I get a notification anytime someone joins. So, and I can make sure I get you connected if you were looking for a specific justice. Office hours start next week, so the justices are not here this week. And so that way there will be no weekly report this week or next week. But the following week we'll have our first weekly report that gets sent out in the newsletter. We still have our meetings Fridays at 6 p.m. And so anytime there's briefs, or if you guys have anything that Judicial is a part of that you want to present to us, just email us and you guys can come in and say that. And then briefs and all opinions will get heard Fridays at 6 p.m. as well. I believe job descriptions are still in committee, but if you guys have any questions on that while that's still editing, please let us know. We would love to go over that, especially ahead of hiring. Or if you guys have any questions about what we do, we can definitely go over that. And then finally, now that we're in spring semester, we're gonna start planning for Rams Know Their Rights, which is a week-long initiative that's in April. And it covers all kind of aspects. It usually comes from like associate justices like passion. So last semester or last year we had immigration right resources, we had Title IX resources, and then we had General Student Bill of Rights. And so this year it's gonna be looking a bit different. But if you guys have a passion that you guys want like a part of it, a part of the week, please email us and we can see how we can get that incorporated and worked into that schedule as well. But that is all for me. Thank you.
Okay, good evening everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful break. I just have a few updates to share, so thank you in advance for bearing with me. It's a bit much. I wanted to reiterate some important dates as I realized that a few of them were incorrect in my presentation, and I apologize for that. And then also provide a little bit of clarification on our upcoming event next week. So as I said, January 29th, Curious About Candidacy. It's the first event of this semester. This event is designed to help students learn what candidacy is, what it means to declare candidacy, and provide a space for questions to be asked and answered. There's a few changes that, as we just saw inside of Emily's presentation, so I wanted to make sure our candidates and possible candidates had a space to discuss and ask questions about what it means exactly that candidacy is. So tell a friend. You'll see more about that in our upcoming social media posts as well. March 3rd is the political review seats at the table. March 5th is the CTV candidate debate. March 9th is another tabling event, Hot Chocolate and How to Vote.
March 11th, don't forget to vote, and then March 11th, as you all know, is election night with the results being announced at 6:30 p.m. inside of these Senate chambers. So please let me know if you have any questions, need clarification at any of these events or anything related to engagement. And thank you so much. That's all I have.
I'm back again. I'm so sorry. I only have 2 more times that I'll be back. So we are really trying to get a hold of college councils to get some orientation materials from them for candidates. So far, the only college council we've gotten anything from is Warner, so shout out to you guys. If you are not in Warner, please chat with your friends, see if you can get a hold of your college council leadership. We're really looking for a small document of kind of your college council, what you guys stand for, and then kind of your leadership team. If you would like that yourself to see if you can work with your fellow senators to fill that out, that's totally fine, reach out to me. But please nudge your leadership team. I'm literally begging you. I'm trying so hard to get this relationship growing. So if that is something you would be willing to do, I would super appreciate it. As I said a couple minutes ago, but I think it's important, candidate applications officially open Friday at 8 a.m. It will be in the Teams app. Please don't start campaigning, but you may submit your application and kind of start your orientation process at that time. And then I just kind of wanted to put on your radar, Lily and I are working on an event, like I mentioned. We're calling it Saddle Up and Vote. It's kind of rodeo themed. It'll be super fun. There's some cool things that are in the works, but please put that on your calendar to bring some friends too. And then Selena and I will be pushing out some additional events coming soon. Thank you.
Cool, yeah, with that, we'll now be moving into legislative reports, starting with officer reports, starting with me. With that, first, our Housing Caucus Chair, Miss Claire, sadly resigned and is doing really, really cool work at the Legion, meaning that seat is now open. So if you're interested in being the Housing Caucus Chair, feel free to ask questions to me. Additionally, our Director of Basic Needs, Lauren Davis, was the previous serving Housing Caucus Chair, and she's really, really cool. So feel free to also ask questions there. Legislative Cabinet set their time for the semester. This is an open meeting with all of our chairs, myself, Gio, Ellie, all of those cool people. It'll be 11 to 12 Mondays. As for election stuff, if you have any interest at all in serving in this role next year, please feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer any and all questions or concerns. Additionally, as for like the senator role, one thing that we saw last year with the sort of spike in senators going for positions was a sort of feeling of blindsiding from the college council. So make sure that you're utilizing your role as a liaison to your college council. This is a thing that's happening. Strikes will be given out this semester. If you have any questions about how the strike process works, that's in the bylaws, but additionally feel free to ask myself or Ellie. With that, do any other officers have reports? I'm assuming yeah.
Wait, is it my turn now?
Gio, do you have anything?
Hello everyone, I hope you all had a great break. I'm glad to be back. And I went out the country, I'm glad to be back here. But I don't really have any announcements that are, I do have announcements, I don't know what to put. This is mainly for, what I'm about to say is mainly for CRC senators. So if that is you, please be listening. Before break started, I had sent out a message to your directors. I'm starting an initiative where I'm building a committee of student leaders from across our cultural resource centers, just because I feel like personally there's a big gap between all of our CRCs. I feel like we all individually operate, but there's not really that collective operation, which I think is really needed to have a united front on for so many reasons. But on the other side of that, it's like I said, it's going to be student leaders from our cultural resource center spaces, but then also I want to incorporate student leaders kind of in the sphere of providing resources. So if you know someone that is spearheading something or is like a big part of spreading resources, whether that be stuff for housing, food insecurity, literally anything, please send them to me. If you yourself feel like you are a student leader in these spaces, please come to me. I'm really trying to build it just to make sure our students in cultural resource centers, they feel well supported, but also the senators and everyone that we have working in our cultural resource centers feel supported and connected. But yeah, if y'all ever need help with anything, you know, you can always reach out to me, or if you just want to talk, you know, I love to talk, so always reach out. Yeah, I hope you all had a great break. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I hope you were able to have a restful break. It's wonderful to see you all here. Thank you for showing up. I'll keep it really short and sweet, I don't have much. But I do want to highlight how important each one of you as an individual is. Whether it's for advocacy work, not related to ASCSU, or things related to elections, like tell a friend to tell a friend, it does work. Word of mouth does work. I know we have a tendency to think there's not a lot we can do as individuals, like, oh, if I just vote. But seriously, tell your friends, spread the word. This election is really, really important. And to Emily's point, would be wonderful to feel like we all played a part. That's all I have. Thank you.
Cool, thank you. I will now be moving into committee and caucus reports by Vice Chair Swafford, Chair Monty.
Hi, y'all. I'm just gonna drop this out there for all of y'all in the room. If you look at the general teams, I have this handy dandy thing called a Wend Beat that y'all should fill out. I will be setting the cutoff at midnight on Friday, and whoever has filled it out, that will determine when my caucus meets, and I will not be changing it. I'm just letting you all know this now. So if you fill it out, I will, 1, expect to see you there, and 2, be using that to determine when we meet. With that being said, thank you, I yield.
Thank you, Chair McLaughlin.
First, Budgetary Affairs is tentatively meeting from 1 to 2 p.m. on Thursdays. That will probably change because our financial advisor, Farah, does not work in office those days, and I would like her to be there. But for the time being, we'll be meeting then, so tomorrow afternoon. Less fun news. ASCSU is currently running a deficit of a fairly significant amount. Revenue is, or for this year, expenses outpaced revenue this year by about $83,000. In the past couple of years, this hasn't been as big of an issue because we built up a very large reserve balance over COVID. However, this will probably be an issue that everyone in this organization has to probably take a part in dealing with as we move through the budget process this year. It'll start with whoever the new president is, but this body will have to also be involved in that decision. So just want to prepare y'all for that. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Chair Rivera.
Hello, I hope everyone had a fun winter break. I've also posted a when to meet on the general chat. So if you are interested in being part of the University Affairs Committee, please fill it out by Friday as well. I'm more open of like changing the time during our first meeting to see what best fits everyone's schedule. But I would really like to see everyone fill it out just in case. But thank you, I yield my time.
Thank you, Chair Gray.
Hi, homies. I hope that y'all had like a really great break. So I have a virtual tutoring bill that's gonna be seen sometime soon. So let me know, or Vice Chair Annalise know if you would like to read it. I will also be sending out a when to meet in the general and also in the Accessibility Caucus Teams chat. Please fill that out. We have a lot of fun there. I think that's all.
Awesome. Chair Quezada.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone had a great break, got some rest, some much very needed rest. DEI committee will be meeting this Thursday from 2 to 3 just to get it started a little bit. I am gonna give y'all until Friday to fill out the when to meet. I made that time just because no one filled out the when to meet last time I checked. But Haven, Leary, Ellie, thank you so much for filling it out. I really appreciate it. So, please fill it out by Friday if you can. I wanna get as many people as I can. Right now we're looking at Monday around 4. So, yeah, I yield.
Thank you, Chair Hill.
Hey you guys, again, I hope everyone had such a great break. For Women in Social Justice, I was thinking Monday from 1 to 2. But I can also totally fill out a 1 to meet. I don't really care either way. But yeah, if anyone has any issues with that time, just like, I don't know, I'll post it in the Teams like for the caucus and everyone can like or dislike it or something. Cool, thank you, I yield.
Awesome. Are there any other committee or caucus reports at this time? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into Senator and Associate Senator reports by First Vice Speaker, Senator Eddington.
Hi, everyone. So I just wanted to let you guys know I was invited to a conference this break for the ALBS, and I'm coming back with some tools. So if any of you guys have any interest in learning another language and want a scholarship program for that, you could totally hit me up. This isn't my role, so I would love to spread information and get you guys tools to learn other languages. So that's all.
Cool, awesome. Does anyone else wish to report? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into confidence business with 2 hours on the clock, starting with the ratification of elections committee member.
Okay, for the last time I'm back, I'm so sorry. So this is our final member of our committee that we're getting ratified tonight. This brings our committee up to 12 people, so a full committee, which is super exciting. So I'm gonna introduce her and then open it up for Q&A. This is Nicole Marine. She's a political science student with a Spanish minor. She's worked as a legislative intern for Representative Jennifer Baker and is also involved in LSAB, Realities for Children, Gamma Phi Beta, Arboretum, and Animal Friends Alliance. She was interviewed and went through an online application on questions related to bias and partiality in the elections process, and I think she will be a really awesome asset to our team. I will open it up for Q&A.
Do we have any questions for our candidate? Chair McLaughlin?
Would you consider yourself unbiased?
Yes, I would.
Excellent. I will move to previous question.
Is there any dissent? Hearing none, if you could go ahead and take a step outside. Okay, with that, we'll now be moving into the discussion debate by First Vice Placard after I stop talking. Congratulations, Senator Bacon.
What is it? Motion to previous question? Yeah, motion to previous question.
Is there,
You're breaking my heart.
is there any dissent? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move into a period of voting. You can go ahead and use unanimous consent. Does anyone, not disconsent, oh my goodness, dissent, to the ratification of this candidate? Hearing none, this candidate is ratified.
I state your name,
I, Nicole Maureen,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by the Constitution
set forth by the Constitution
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
of the Associated Students of Colorado State University
and will rightfully perform
and will rightfully perform
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congrats.
Awesome, with that, we'll now be moving into old business.
starting with Lex 5526, the Entry University Department Inclusion Lex. This legislation was sent out wasn't sent out in the newsletter with the edits made, so we're gonna go ahead and read the edits made in committee now.
Lex 5526, Intra-University Department Involvement Lex. In terms of changes, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, Matthew Grenier, Senator from the College of Business, endorsed it. Including exploratory studies was added, preceding the Cell and Molecular Biology graduate program of the first whereas. The second whereas changed the term largwid to which arguably has been. The second, therefore.
Personal privilege, can you just make that larger, please? Thank you.
Second, therefore, changes will be edited from to which currently reads, and adds will be amended between the quotes, the graduate school shall be represented in the same manner, and the graduate school and intra-university department shall be represented in the same manner. The third, therefore, has been edited to read Article 2, Section 203, subsection F, which currently reads from previously will be edited from, and succeeding the quote, if pursuing a seat to represent a college as a member of one participating membership of that college, they shall be elected to members of that college during the general elections or by approval of their college council at any other time during the year, was added, will be amended to. The second to last, therefore, reads Article 5, Section 501, subsection B, which currently reads from, will be edited from, and added, will be amended from read. And that is the extent of the edits made in committee.
Do you accept these edits? I do. Awesome. With that, we'll go ahead and move into a period of discussion and debate on this piece of legislation by first raised placard. Chair Monty.
We really want representation, especially from college constituents that has hard time showing up due to how our rules are. And changing those rules to let them in is really, really cool. Anyone else on your list?
No.
Motion to previous question.
Is there any dissent? Hearing none, because this is in its second read, we'll go ahead and vote on whether or not this legislation continues. So again, this is its final passage, it's just whether or not it continues. So all those in favor of this legislation continuing, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it, and this will be sent to the Internal Affairs Committee. We'll now be moving into new business, starting with Bill 5534. I don't know if it's a word or an acronym. The Family and Community Celebration. So if the author is going to go ahead and come up.
Bill 5534, El Centro Somos Family and Community Celebration. This bill proposes the allocation of $8,500 from the Senate discretionary budget to support El Centro's Somos Family and Community Celebration. This budget will be allocated to El Centro to cover the cost of securing the LSC ballroom, along with necessary equipment and production expenses for the Somos celebration. You have 10 minutes.
Hello, we are once again bringing our Somos bill. So for those who are new or haven't heard about our event, El Centro puts on an event every year to recognize graduating seniors. This event is open to all students. Any student is able to fill out a form and come to the event. All of our constituents, as well as I know a lot of other students in this university, look forward to attending this event. So we really hope to get your support with this.
about a little bit about where our budget comes from or what we're asking for. If you go to the second whereas clause, the sixth, please. We have broken down all of the costs for the event, but also like given the amount of bills we have seen last semester and all the ones we anticipate this semester, we didn't want to ask for the full amount. So all we are asking for is money to cover the LSE ballroom and then part of our catering price, which is the highest price we have to cover. But yeah.
Cool, yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and enter a period of Q&A by first race officer from this legislation. Senator Vega.
Hello, do you guys by chance know how many students attend this event, or like how many did last year?
Yes, we actually do. So according to numbers from last year, and students who filled out the survey, we had 91 graduating seniors, 189 family members of those students, and then we had 42 community members. Yes, those were the total.
Awesome, thank you.
Team. Awesome, Senator Singleton.
So do you know if the LC catering amount, is that dependent on how many people are planning on showing up? Or is it like a fixed rate that they just charge?
Yeah, so those numbers are based on what we asked for last year. So like it's just the same budget they included last year. And then students haven't RSVP'd for it, so it would just be like a fixed just number that the LSE gave us.
And then also, something that I do want to state is that the LSE is working with us. So they're giving us the same price from last year, which is like $35 per person, compared to the increase that has been happening in the LSE. So LSE is helping us out by a lot, so we're really asking for support.
Thank you, I yield.
Awesome. Are there any other questions for this legislation? Senator Corey?
You mentioned that it was intended for graduating seniors. Would you be willing to include graduating grad students?
Yeah, so basically during this event, students are able to receive a graduation stole. So anybody who's graduating either in the spring or next fall that wants a stole can come to the event. Yeah.
Thank you, I yield.
Coolio. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, this legislation will be sent to the University Affairs and Budgetary Affairs Committees. We'll now be moving into Bill 5535, reallocating contractual savings. And we'll go ahead and start with reading it in full.
Sorry.
You come here too.
Bill 5535, reallocating contractual savings. This bill reallocates savings from contracts with the New York Times, USA Today, and Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation to various uses within ASCSU. Whereas, 1. In January 2025, an increase in the contractual payments made by ASCSU to the Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation was not approved, resulting in a budgeted amount higher than the actual spent amount. And whereas 2, the total cost of the subscription agreements ASCSU has with the New York Times and USA Today came in under the budgeted amount, resulting in excess funds. And whereas 3, having excess funding sit in reserve where it could be reallocated for more effective purposes does not fulfill ASCSU's mission of serving the student body and improving our organization. So, therefore, be it hereby enacted, 1, that $14,103.36 from the, quote, collegiate readership unquote, line item, and $7,882.51 from the, quote, Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation dash 3% increase, unquote, line item within the ASCSU General Fund be moved to the following uses. 1, $3,250 for a new, quote, alumni relations, unquote, line item under the Office of the President. 2, $1,000 increase to the, quote, discretionary, unquote, line item under the Legislative Cabinet. 3, $2,000 increase to the, quote, election, unquote, line item under the Supreme Court. 4, $2,000 increase to the, quote, lobbyist, unquote, line item under the Department of Governmental Affairs. 5, $4,900 increase to the, quote, Feast of the Food Trucks, unquote, line item under the Department of Traditions. 6, $3,000 to the new, quote, Food Security Programming, unquote, line item under the Department of Basic Needs. 7, a $1,900 increase to the, quote, Generation Consciousness Project line item under the Department of Environment. 8, $500 to the new, quote, Rail Jam Carbon Offset, unquote, line item under the Department of the Environment. 9, $1,000 to the new, quote, undergraduate graduation gown lending library, unquote, line item under the Department of Education. And 10, $2,435.87 to a new, quote, graduate graduation gown lending library, unquote, line item under the Department of Graduate Affairs. And therefore, be it hereby further enacted, 2, that any unused funds by June 30th, 2026 shall return to the ASCSU General Fund. And therefore, be it hereby further enacted, 3, that a copy of this legislation be forwarded to Amy Parsons, President, Colorado State University, Tony Frank, Chancellor, CSU System, Blanche Hughes, Vice President, Student Affairs, Ben Schrader, Director, Adult Learner and Veteran Services, ASCSU Advisor, Dwayne Ruff, I lost myself, Director, Student Leadership Involvement and Community Engagement, Julia Pratt, Assistant Director for Student Government, Student Leadership Involvement and Community Engagement, Farah Shaw, ASCSU/SLICE Accountant, Student Leadership Involvement and Community Engagement, Ali Raza, Assistant.
I'd like to make a quick point that this is just from the template, so seeing how we're all diligent senators that read all documentation sent to us, we've all already read the template, that is publicly accessible. You're welcome to make the judgment that you think is appropriate.
A motion is usually a course of action.
How does the Senate feel by thumbs up on us not reading the template? Thumbs up if you're okay with us not reading the template. Awesome, with that, we don't have to read the template.
All right,
Hayden raised his hand.
What?
Senator Taylor.
You still have time to present the legislation.
Yeah, so this is a bill to reallocate some extra money we have laying around. I know that sounds weird after I just told y'all that we don't really have extra money laying around. I can get into the details of that later. Basically, we didn't spend all the money that we thought we would spend on our subscription to the New York Times, USA Today. And additionally, we budgeted some money for an increase to our contract with the Collegian. That increase didn't end up happening. That was not any decision we made. That was a negotiation between Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation and Nick and Braxton last year.
I was also going to add context because you're probably thinking like, how did we not spend this money that was budgeted for? This was not a miss or oversight on anybody's part. What happened is that with the Rocky Mountain and the USA Today contracts, we renegotiated these this year, and so we renegotiated lower rates on the New York Times contract, and the USA Today contract was where it always was, and so with the significant decrease or like the renegotiated rate for New York Times, we had an excess of money still left over. Melanie was also present for these conversations, so it's really cool to see it all coming full circle in the work and input that everybody's had. So, yeah.
Also, I know this was a concern, at least one person posed to me. This is not taking money from the Collegian or Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation. Just want to put that out there. With that, the numbers for what we're reallocating it to were kind of decided based on Jakai and the executive branch kind of bringing what they saw as needs for the rest of this year. I gave some input on that, and we arrived at these numbers. I'm hopeful that they'll go over well with y'all. I would welcome y'all's inputs as well.
Additionally, we also sent out the reallocations proposals as well. So various of these projects were also from that list of proposals that people sent in. Environmental Affairs sent in a few. So the stuff that's happening with the Generation Consciousness Project, the Rail Jam Carbon Offset, and then the different variations of what's happening with the Graduation Gown Lending Library are all different proposals from the Department of Environmental Affairs. So that system worked, and that's kind of how all of these numbers came to be about.
One more thing, Generation Consciousness Project, for anyone that does not know, is a pilot program in the dorms for reusable laundry supplies. We'll yield for now.
Awesome, with that, we'll be entering a period of Q&A by First Rose Placard. Senator Singleton.
Real quick question. Why under 9 does the undergraduate graduation gown lending library go to the Department of Environment?
This is a really great question. So we need to amend this. Are you talking about 9 and 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 9 and 10, well, I can't go down on this computer. Can we go down on this computer for 9 and 10 so we can reflect these? Okay. So for 9 and 10, there essentially was our Department of Graduate Affairs was attempting to create a similar program to what happens at the Graduation Lending Gown Library for undergrad students. We're hoping to actually make an edit to this. That's actually what I said to Jared when it was being read aloud, is that we need to make the edit to this so they're both absorbed into the Department of Environmental Affairs, because it's supposed to be open for both undergrad and graduate students, even though there's a difference in regalia. The Department of Environmental Affairs has already created the infrastructure for this program, and so they want to continue building on that, but to encompass both. And so it will live within the Department of Environmental Affairs, but be line items for both. So I hope that's effective answering that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. I yield.
We'll probably make that edit in committee soon.
Awesome, Senator Edington.
You said you could get into the minutia a little later of how we don't have money, but we do have money. I would actually like to hear that.
I'll just explain it now. I was gonna explain it next week when I give my presentation, but I'll give a brief explanation now. Basically, this year, we're all good. We have plenty of money to spend this year. We have the rest of the Senate's discretionary budget, we have this extra money, the executive branch has a lot of discretionary funding. It's more of a systemic problem in that if we did the exact same thing this year, next year, we'd be spending more than we're bringing in. So we kind of need to bring those closer together. So we're not, I feel like anyone in here with business experience knows you can't spend money you don't have. Actually, everyone should know that. Don't spend way more money than you have on a credit card. That's a horrible idea. Anyways, with that, I'll yield.
Yeah, I'll yield.
Cool, Senator Negro.
You said that those proposals were available somewhere. Where are those available?
Like the proposals that were submitted? For the ones that were submitted, I can send you any of them. They came straight to me, Jared, and Sophie, and so it's a zip file. But after I sent the email out organization-wide, I think we put some stuff in Teams as well. Maybe we didn't, I apologize. Me, Sophie, and Jared via email thread reviewed these. I think Jared's probably pulling it up right now because it's just who the guy is. Nonetheless, though, he can send those to you. So yeah, if that's okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll put them in the 55th Senate Teams channel.
Perfect, thank you, I yield.
Awesome, Officer Donovan.
I'm just curious because it's the only one I don't have a good idea on. For number 1, what exactly would fall under, specific examples would fall under the alumni relations? What would we spend our money on for that specific one?
This is a great question. So at the beginning of the semester, we have our alumni reunion, and so the cost that's incurred from the Laurie Student Center for that is roughly about $5,000. And so instead of taking all of that out of just the regular discretionary that we have now, so we can still have money left for the rest of the programs for the remainder of the year, alumni relations is what we've thought up to create to kind of cover that expense, because it's a grand expense, but it's worth it. That's something that does happen every year, and we do a lot of honorarium things there as well, right? So our Then K Award winner, our Miser Scholarship, different things that we do to fundraise there, and then also kind of areas of recognition, but then also the connection points from alumni. And I think that this year we had a very well-attended alumni reunion. I'd say it's well worth it, but this kind of undercuts the cost for alumni relations, but it would largely be spent on that, so.
Thank you, I yield.
Of course.
Chair Hill?
Hi, a couple of my questions were already answered, and like, Jared, we can talk about this later too, but I was just wondering if you have a proposal for how much budget we'll have next year. I know that's outside of the scope of this bill,
This is something I'll talk about next week, 'cause I think I'm finally on the agenda to give the financial training that I've been trying to do for, I guess, since October? Anyways, I'll talk about it in detail there, but yes, I've been working with Jakai, Brooke, a bunch of other people, to kind of start working on a proposal to deal with that, so that we have something to help the next president and Speaker of the Senate and Vice President with, just so that we're not, I guess, deer in the headlights when the moment comes, so that we have a plan. But for the time being, I'd like to request no further questions about the total ASCSU budget, and it be contained to this bill. Thank you, I yield.
Awesome. Yes, I yield as well. Awesome. Senator Taylor.
So I had a quick question. Would you be willing to amend the language of this? Because section 902C of the ASCSU Constitution says that any source of unbudgeted revenue is immediately moved into the Senate discretionary fund. And so could you amend that language to so reflect that?
I would argue this isn't unbudgeted revenue yet. It's budgeted. We just don't have something to spend it on. And this is kind of minutia. I'm happy to put whatever language you think would sound the best too. Just let me know.
Okay, we can discuss that some. My second question, Jakai, can you speak a little bit to the lobbyist line item and kind of the logic behind that?
Yeah, so going into this, the lobbyist line item was set to increase because our work with our lobbyists was also set to increase, and so they also haven't just received a proper increase for services rendered in a few years, and so originally the understanding was that we'd be increasing that line item this year. And that's the logic behind that one.
Awesome, thank you, I yield.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions for this piece of legislation? Seeing none, this will go ahead and be sent to Budgetary Affairs and Internal Affairs. We'll now be moving into ending roll call. Chair Melty.
Motion to use beginning roll call as ending roll call, and that anyone who showed up later just hop on and yeah.
Is there any dissent? Oh,
Not dissent, just a point of clarification. I unfortunately missed the opening roll call.
You're on the attendance.
Okay, thank you.
awesome. With that, we adjourn.
Also, Noah Grew joined.
I got it, yeah.